Hello you beautiful people and welcome to today's video. It is pretty disgusting weather outside today, so I thought why not record a video and finally record the video I wanted to do since quite a while. Wow, the rain is really going intense. Just noticing, looking out of the window. And there's a storm, so that's nice. Yeah. So, I have seen Steph from The Average Artist doing these book-related art videos, and I really like them. So I wanted to try my hand on this kind of theme, and I just wanted to make an illustration and talk about the book I read, and the illustration is loosely related to the book. So for some years I did not really read. I just could not concentrate on reading sitting down with a book and just relaxing. I just could not do that, but I picked it up some time ago again, fortunately. So yeah. The book I want to talk about today is Mr. Norrell and... No. Is it this? No, it's Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Published in the year 2004, I think. And this book has won several awards, and it was Susanna Clarke's debut book. And it's a fantasy book. And it's very good, but I had some issues with it. I would not call them issues, just, you know, when you have a book and you really want to love it, but you just cannot go along, you just have, like, you and the book, you're not compatible, like, you know that feeling? That kind of feeling? You know that? So, right off the bat, I did not finish this book. It is over 1,000 pages. I've read the German translation, and it's not that it's badly written. It has a very beautiful language. It's very, very nicely worded. I cannot talk about the original, but the German version was very, very nicely worded, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but I cannot make any promises. So I'm so sorry I did not finish this book, really. So the book is set in a world where magic is kind of, it's not a secret that it exists, and it plays in England. And I think Edwardian times it is. And it talks about the Ravenking and elves. And the Ravenking had, I think he's called the Ravenking in English too, because in German it is his name, like Ravenkönig. And yeah. So, yeah, magic is not really a secret in this world, but it's not used. So all the wizards are theoretical wizards, and usually old men. I would have wished to see some witches as well, but they're all old men, and they're all reading books all the time and studying magic. But yeah, magic is not really... Nobody casts spells. But they hear from some wizard that is a practical wizard, and he casts magic and does do spelly things. And this is Mr. Norrell, a very, very eccentric dude who lives all alone somewhere with his his servant, Childermass, and I think other servants as well, but I only remember Childermass, I think that's his name. He's really cool. He's a really very, very cool character. I like him a lot. And then 2 of the wizards of this guild go to Mr. Norrell and challenge him. And this is only the prologue, okay? So, I'm not spoiling you. This is practically the first pages. And they challenge him, and practically he says, if I can cast real magic and prove to you I'm a real wizard, none of you is allowed to call themselves a wizard anymore. So, it happens, and he wins the bet. However he does that, I'm not gonna tell you, I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty cool. I was really, wow. If this book is continuing this, I'm all in. So, yeah, he does that, and it works out for him, and yeah, he's not really a people person. He's like all alone all the time, and then through some shenanigans he moves to London because he's the only practical wizard and the only wizard in the United Kingdom. And yeah, then he moves to London to the Hanover Square, and in some happenings happen, and he meets then he meets then Jonathan Strange, and he becomes his teacher in magic. So they are both wizards and the only wizards in England, and they help them with the war against France and in Spain and against Napoleon and things like that. And I really, really dig the lore in this world. The elves are amazing. I love them so much. This one elf, I don't know the name of, but he's the best. I love him so much. In English, I don't know how the exact name is, but in German, the elf is only called the man or the gentleman, I don't know, with hair like thistledown, and he's a baby. I love him. And also I really love Stephen Black. This butler, this poor man was so done. I'm so sorry for him. I really love him. He's amazing, and I personally felt the same with the book. So, I told you all the things I really loved about the book, but I still did not finish it. It has about 1050 pages, and I read 560, and I felt that it was pulling me back into that reading down I had before I picked up reading again. I had to take a sip of coffee. So the thing is, this book is very beautifully worded, and I love the lore. I love the idea of the Ravenking, this mystical king that has kingdoms in the human world, the elf world, and in hell, in something like that. And he's also the character I'm drawing in the painting, or how I imagined him to be. Yeah, but it is very, very slow, and I don't have a particular problem with slow books. I really love Stephen King, for example, who is also a person who sometimes the plot moves kind of slow, but still. So, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people love this book, and I get why. And I kind of love it too, but I just can't finish it because every time I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, please, please let something happen. I'm so sorry. I would definitely buy another book by this author. Definitely, because she has very well written characters. She has very interesting ideas. I really love it. But I think it kind of shows that this is her first book. And on the cover it says that it's comparable to Tolkien. And I don't know if I agree with that particularly, but it has elves in it, I guess, and a king, and like, I don't know. But like, there are many, many events that are very, very long, chapters over chapters, but they don't really push the plot in my opinion. I get that people have different opinions, and I get that maybe people love that about the book, that there is so many things happening, and that it's not all about action and stuff like that. And I'm not only about action, I'm like, I want to see things that really, I want to know what's happening. I want to know what the Raven King is doing, like, not from the Raven King's perspective, but there are things sprinkled into the story, and I'm like, I want to know what this is about, please. I want to know more about the elven world. I want to know about what this elf in his kingdom is doing. Like, there are so many cool ideas, but I feel like the events are written in a way also that problems get solved very easily, and not all, but a lot of events. So I feel like that this book is very, very long for no particular reason. Please don't kill me. I feel like that this book could have been a lot shorter and a lot more faster. What I really did enjoy, though, is some of the footnotes. This book has very, very long footnotes where it tells you about the world and things that happened in the world, like what old wizards did when magic was still a thing, and things about the elven paths where the Raven King is walking on particularly, and sightings of elves and things that wizards found. And I really love that the author was very into this world. Like, the world feels alive and has a lot of depth to it, but like this it's so very, very slow. It's very slow, and my dad and I have kind of the same taste in books, and he devours fantasy books. Like, he read all the Game of Thrones books in no time. He has a love for thick books. If a book has not at least 500 pages, he's not gonna even look at it. Like, so he really also likes stories that go into depth of some sorts, and like are not shallow and stuff. But he also found this book to be very, very slow, and he did not like it that much. And I picked it up from him, and I read it. I tried to read it, and the beginning was very, very promising, but I could not finish it. I'm so sorry. I've read a lot of thick books before, but this one, I just could not. But I really love the lore, and I really love a lot of the characters. The characters are amazing. Like, I would advise you, if you can get your hands on this book, and you like alternate history things, and epic fantasy things, and old English shenanigans, if you don't know, I don't know, if you can pick this book up from your library or something, try to give it a read, because maybe it's for you, maybe it's just me that's weird. I have a weird taste in books sometimes. I can totally see why people would enjoy this book, like, yeah. Also, the Ravenking is pretty cool, like, he's like a cool dude, I guess. I read the synopsis when I DNF'd it, and I was about halfway through the book, and the last happenings were summarized in like 2 sentences when I still had almost 500 pages to read, and I was like, oh boy, I cannot take this. Yeah. So I'm going to put this book into the public library we have around the corner, and I hope that it finds a very loving home, and I'm not going to finish it. I'm so sorry. It's a good book though. It's just not for me. Like, I really fell in love with the world, but I could not bring it over me to finish it. I feel very sorry about that. And if I ever find a newer book written by this author, I will definitely try and give it a read, because I feel like maybe it's because it was her first book. She wanted to put everything into it. Like, she had all these scenes in her head, and she really wanted to put every little ounce of it into the book because it was so dear to her. And I don't know much about the author. Maybe you can educate me. I really hope that maybe her next book is gonna just feel a bit more readable to me. So yeah, this was my opinion on the book. It's a good book. I just could not finish it because it was too slow. So yeah. And I had a lot of fun with this illustration as well. I really liked these new brushes I got. For the first time ever in my life, I invested in some kind of expensive brush, and wow, oh my gosh. Yeah, I got a gift card for an art supply store for Christmas, so I invested in brushes, and they're really good. I hope I'll have a lot of fun with them, and they last for some years, I guess. They hold so much water. I love it so much. And yeah, I think we're almost at the end of the video. I rambled a lot, and I wrote a script, but I could not follow it. And yeah, I'm sorry I did ramble so much. I hope it was not too distracting. And I really want to do more of these type of videos where I talk about books, because I love books. And I want to read more this year than I did last year. I already read a lot of books for my personal taste last year, way more than the year before. And I know people read way more books than I do out there on Booktube. I love Booktube. But I'm a very slow reader. Right now I have started Stephen King's It, and I'm looking forward to do this video where I illustrate something and talk about this book, because it's one hell of a book. I cannot describe it yet. It's amazing. I'm reading it in English, which is a bit of a challenge, but I think I'm gonna be fine. So thank you very much for watching, and yeah, we see each other next time. And until we do, please do something that makes you happy. Bye bye.